Across Canada, people enjoyed a spectacular view of the Northern Lights last night, and you might get another chance tonight. These are some of the images people captured in southern Alberta last night thanks to a very strong solar flare. The experts say the conditions are favorable tonight too and may even be a little better later in the evening. Here's what else is making news tonight. New details about a Las Vegas cold case, a Calgary victim, and the mob.
Tom Hanley and his crew, for lack of better terms, yes, they were involved in the death and disappearance of Anna Just.
Closure finally available after almost 60 years. Plus, what's on the next major projects list and what isn't? Is the PM making progress on nation building?
Mark Carney needs to do only one thing for us to get a pipeline from Alberta to the Pacific. Get out of the way.
And fashion and beauty collide for two Calgarians making it big.
I've done a few features with them, but this, I think, was the most special.
I couldn't believe it, so it's really amazing to be here.
A top model and a celebrity makeup artist weaving home into their work.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Tara Nelson.
Hello and thank you for joining us. We begin with breaking news tonight. Police say two brothers got into a fight in a home in the southwest today. One was rushed to hospital with injuries that are considered life-threatening. Jacqueline Wilson joins us from the community of Glamorgan tonight. So Jackie, what have you learned about this so far?
Tara, so what we know from police is that they were called to a unit within this townhouse complex that we are in right now for what they are calling a domestic incident that involved two youth. Now, this afternoon there were lots of cops here. However, just a few remain right now. Now, officers say that the two youth involved, they are brothers, but they haven't said just how old they are. We do know that one of them suffered life-threatening injuries, but there's no word on whether there were weapons involved in this incident or just what type of injuries were inflicted. Details at this time are limited because really of two things. So one, the boys, they are considered youth, and then two, police classify this as a case of domestic violence, and so the identities of those youth, they are protected involved in this. And so Tara, just to give you a little bit of a sense of what's happening right now, there are at least two officers that I can see. They are canvassing the area in the townhouse complex right now. They're going door to door. They're asking for witness statements, and I suspect getting CCTV security footage really to try and push this investigation forward. Back to you.
Okay, Jacqueline Wilson reporting. Jackie, thank you. In Lethbridge, a 12-year-old boy charged with the attempted murder of his 7-year-old brother will remain in custody for at least another 2 weeks. The accused, who cannot be identified under the Youth Criminal Justice Act, has been in custody since his arrest in August. Investigators say the older boy told officers that an unknown man came into the home and stabbed his brother before running away. Matthew DeGrood is seeking more freedoms. He was found not criminally responsible for stabbing 5 people to death at a house party in Brentwood in 2014. His psychiatrist says he is a low level to reoffend and is ready for relaxed rules to make it easier to visit his sister in BC. The argument was made at an annual hearing before Alberta's Criminal Code Review Board. Police are investigating after a man was attacked outside his home in the northeast community of Temple this morning. It happened around 7:40 in the 300 block of Temple View Drive. Police say a man in his 50s was outside when he was assaulted by 2 men with bear spray and a blunt object. He was taken to hospital in stable condition. Police say the victim did not know the men in their late 30s or 40s and currently have no suspects in custody. We have new details in a story we first brought you last night. The cold case of a missing and murdered Calgary woman in Las Vegas is finally bringing some closure to her family. Police say a DNA swab from her sister helped identify her, but her connection to the mob is what got her killed. Tyson Fedor reports.
It's been nearly 6 decades since family heard from Anna Sylvia Just. The last clue about her whereabouts came in 1968 when the 29-year-old's personal belongings, such as her passport, plane tickets, a suitcase, and bloodied clothes, were found in a Nevada desert.
Finding those type of items were indicative of foul play.
Just was reported missing in Calgary in 1966. Las Vegas police reached out to family when her possessions were discovered, but she was nowhere to be found. When unidentified human remains were found in the same desert in June 1970, no connection was ever made. Until last September, when Calgary investigators reopened her case. Her sister, who still lives in Calgary, provided a DNA sample to police. And last month, Las Vegas investigators made the link.
Unfortunately, again, technology plays a part with DNA not being a factor in there. In 1970, the connection just wasn't made. That was two years later after the belongings were found.
And Calgary police say her family is feeling a sense of relief.
The fact when we first reached out to collect her DNA, maybe some renewed hope from her. So she's 97 years old right now. I can't imagine the kind of shock that would come after this long.
Las Vegas Metro Police say the motive behind her murder was a money dispute.
Anna was wanting her money back, basically, and things went south from there.
Initial reports said Just did know notorious mob associate Tom Hanley.
Tom Hanley and his crew, for lack of better terms, yes, they were involved in the death and disappearance of Anna Just.
He killed people. He firebombed businesses. He beat people up. It was just kind of his stock and trade. That time, late 60s, he was probably a suspect in every murder that occurred in Las Vegas.
Hanley died in prison in 1979. The Mob Museum in Las Vegas says Hanley was not a mobster, but he was a very violent man.
It's definitely the MO of Tom Hanley. He has 2 other cases where he buried a murder victim in the desert.
Las Vegas police say the case is now closed with no one alive to charge.
And Tyson joins us now. So Tyson, what does Just family have to say?
Well, Tara, in a statement, her family tells CTV News they have wondered for almost 60 years what happened to Anna Sylvia Just. They called her Sylvia and say she was loved and is missed to this day. Family were hopeful that the initial investigation would have provided answers sooner, but the family says they now know where she was killed, but the mystery still remains around exactly why. Tara, her family says it's been decades of heartache and tears, particularly for her parents, sisters, and brothers.
No doubt. Okay, Tyson, thank you. We won't hear official word until tomorrow, but CTV News already has a sense of what Ottawa will unveil in the second phase of new nation-building projects. 4 projects have so far been greenlit, though here in Alberta, we'll have to wait a little longer to hear the fate of a pipeline to the BC coast. Tim Brook explains.
CTV News has learned some of the plans included on Ottawa's second list of major projects. Sources say a liquefied natural gas project in BC, a hydroelectric development in Nunavut, and mines in New Brunswick and Northern Ontario will all soon be greenlit for faster development.
50% of global nickel comes from Indonesia. The Chinese own 75% of those mines. We have to disrupt their stranglehold of the supply chain.
But out west, questions still remain about the fate of a pipeline to the coast.
We've heard a lot from the federal government, I would say, in terms of, nice sentiments around bringing investment back. We haven't seen that happen yet.
We do know the Premier is in daily negotiations with Ottawa and still hopeful a memorandum of understanding will be ready, as promised, by Grey Cup Sunday. The feds will only say to be patient.
And there's a lot of conversations occurring right now. Our climate ambitions remain, but pragmatism is the name of the game.
Some are sick of waiting.
There's not a single project that he has launched that was not already in the making or approved before he took office.
The Prime Minister will unveil the full list in BC Thursday. A third batch of projects is expected in the coming months. Tim Brook, CTV News, Calgary.
And Daniel Smith is scheduled to meet with media in Calgary tomorrow.
You're watching CTV News, Calgary.
The Douglas Fir Trail in the southwest is a favorite spot for anyone seeking a mountain hike in the city. But a portion of the trail has been closed for 2 years because a section of it has been washed away and is unsafe. Now community members fear the city may close it down for good. Kevin Fleming reports.
They've been using the Douglas Fir Trail for decades. These hikers are frustrated it's been closed by the City of Calgary for 2 years with no signs of any progress. The last thing they want to see is the city shut it down for good.
There needs to be some kind of resolution and clarity. And in my mind, when we think about hearing that this trail is going to be decommissioned or deconstructed, how does that make sense to pour in millions and millions of dollars into deconstructing a trail where most of it is usable?
This is the reason for the closure. It's known by hikers as the drainage, where the trail is constantly washed away.
It's startling to see how many trees they've cut down, but what they're trying to do is stabilize that section right there, and I don't really understand it, but they're cutting down trees and then they're going to plant more trees and vegetation.
The lookout has remained open, but Keldon Formosa is frustrated the majority of the trail is still closed.
I think we're one of the only places people can get this real exposure to a forested place, and I think people here really value that, and it would be a shame if, just kind of because bureaucratic things or lawyers or without having really asked people from around here how much they care about this, because people from here love this trail.
The city says it spent the last 2 years working on a risk assessment. Amir Wazir says there's no talk of decommissioning the trail, but the goal is to make it safe for everyone, not just avid hikers.
It's a multi-year project, and then we have to keep monitoring it. Currently, there's monthly monitoring in place. And I think even if we spend the money, monitoring doesn't stop. Park has to go, they have to monitor. Geotech has to go in, they have to monitor, likely on a monthly basis to keep it open.
Wazir says so far the city has spent $250,000 for the assessment, and the restoration project will likely be $10 to $30 million. Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Calgary.
The city does say it's a challenging site to work on, and at this point it doesn't have a timeline for when the trail will be fully open. Well, it may not feel like winter right now, but it won't be long before it does, and the city wants drivers to be prepared. The high today sitting around +3 usually. Today it hit 7. Tomorrow could get up to 14. Some snow is expected next week, but so far it's been an extended mild fall. Still, the city's preparing its fleet of plows and sanders and making sure they are fully staffed. As well, city buses are replacing worn-out all-season tires with all-weather tires that will then stay on all year round.
We did evaluate the use of winter tires. They are even a softer compound than the all-weather tires, and we anticipate that they would wear a lot faster compared to the all-weather and the all-seasons. So as a result, we thought the winter tires would be cost prohibitive.
For drivers, winter tires, snow brushes, and emergency kits are recommended as we head toward winter weather. Well, we can't fight it too much longer, Danielle. Winter will eventually arrive.
We tried. We gave it everything we got, and winter will not arrive tomorrow, but we're going to get a taste of it, a short taste of it, on Friday. That's in the forecast. And then Monday. So, yeah, it's coming. 2 degrees is the temperature at the moment at the airport. Winds are relatively calm. It's been a fairly calm wind day. We've had no extreme gusts. It will be gustier tomorrow. So we'll drop to that freezing mark overnight. The winds will slowly start to pick up throughout the morning and then gust up to 40, even 50 kilometers per hour in the afternoon. That comes with mainly sunny skies and a high of 15. Tara.
Thank you, Danielle. Riverbend residents are demanding changes to a fence in their neighborhood. In the past 2 weeks, 2 deer have become impaled on it. We'll hear from someone who came upon the deer, plus what the company responsible for the fence has to say. And cities and towns across Alberta are calling for a change in tax policy. We'll tell you why after a quick break. And if you have a news tip anytime, you can text us at 10400. Fire destroyed a warehouse in the Manchester industrial area last night. Investigators say the building appeared to be used for storage, and there are no signs that anyone was inside. The building is at risk of collapsing, and it will need to be torn down. Alberta's municipalities are mulling over having the province assume collection of the education portion of property taxes. They discussed it at the Alberta Municipalities Convention in Calgary today. They say the move would provide transparency to taxpayers while saving municipalities some money. Tyler Barrow explains.
The Alberta Municipalities Convention and Trade Show is underway at the TELUS Convention Centre. The organization represents 264 members.
It's the largest gathering of municipal elected leaders in the province.
Several resolutions are being discussed for the group to vote on and advocate for. Top of mind is removal of the provincial property tax from the municipal tax bill. Currently, municipalities bear the financial responsibility to remit education property taxes to the province. The town of Rocky Mountain House wants the government of Alberta to assume direct responsibility to collect the provincial education property taxes.
So last year it went up 14.2%. That's a big increase. So then our residents are, for all municipalities, are going to their municipality leaders and going, how come our taxes have increased so much?
While other communities say it creates a financial burden.
A lot of work for our internally. It costs us money to do this. We don't get reimbursed for this.
The City of Calgary's previous administration sent a $10 million invoice to the Alberta government in August over property tax collection expenses. Calgary's mayor backs the resolution.
The property taxes collected by the city and the province are accounted for separately so that Calgarians can have that transparency.
The province tells CTV the Alberta Next panel is considering what role a new provincial tax collection agency could play in shifting tax collection burden. Tyler Barrows, CTV News.
This resolution and others will be voted on by members tomorrow. Workers with the town of Coaldale will be back on the job Monday after 2 months of being locked out. More than 40 town workers, represented by the Alberta Union of Provincial Employees, have reached a deal and now have a new 4-year contract. The workers have been locked out since September 6th, and they voted on a new agreement on Monday. The new deal provides a 12% general wage increase over the next 4 years, with the town continuing to cover 75% of employee benefit premiums. The agreement will be in place from next January to December 2028. Calgarians living in Riverbend would like to see some changes after 2 deer became impaled on a fence in just over 2 weeks. Now, we want to warn you that some of the images and the descriptions in this story are disturbing. Jordan Canagan joins us. So, Jordan, this is an area that is full of wildlife.
Tara, it is, and we're right near Carburn Park, which is close to the river. It's a large area, and there is a lot of wildlife in this area as well. And neighbors who live nearby say deer have fallen victim to a large metal fence along that Carburn Park twice in the last couple of weeks. This was a week ago when a deer tried to jump the fence but became impaled. We won't show you any more of that video, but the animal was there for more than an hour. Neighbors spotted the injured deer and called Fish and Wildlife, but they couldn't respond. An hour later, Calgary police showed up and euthanized the animal. Now, the fence separates the park from vacant lots that are slated for future development.
It is completely senseless and entirely preventable. This fence doesn't have to be here in the way it is. It could be easily modified. I believe it should be taken down. Like I said, it doesn't keep anything in and it doesn't keep anything out.
Now, the company that owns the vacant lot where we're standing right now says it is open to considering safer alternatives for that fence, but says it can't just be removed because it is a boundary between public and private land. JEC Enterprises also says that construction is expected to start on at least one of the homes here in this vacant area in the next several months, and they're hoping that that will mitigate some of the wildlife traffic that is coming through this area and would have to go over that fence. Now, Fish and Wildlife confirms it received the report last week and it spoke with Calgary police and the complainant. It says that these type of incidents are not common, but they highlight the need for wildlife-friendly infrastructure. Tara?
Okay, Jordan Canagan reporting. Jordan, thank you.
This is CTV News, Calgary.
Let's bring Danielle back in now as we get a look at our 5-day forecast.
And so tomorrow will be a very warm day. It will not feel like winter at all, just windy. After that, though, we get a good taste of winter. And if you're in the mountains, a big taste of winter because there is a snowfall warning in place for some areas. And I'll show you that in just a moment. Current temperatures, just 2 degrees in the city, 3 in Banff. So it's warmer in Banff than in Calgary right now. It's 8 in Pincher Creek, Lethbridge, and 7. Medicine Hat, freezing mark, Drumheller and Brooks. So we had a calm wind day today. 56 kilometers per hour was the maximum in Pincher Creek, and everywhere else there were no gusts that registered at any of the reporting stations. So calm today, much gustier tomorrow, but that's going to increase the temperatures tomorrow into the teens for many areas, including Calgary. All right, there's that nice little Chinook setup that we've had. So while we've had lighter winds, it still was enough to set up. You can see the distinct line here, that nice little Chinook arch over QE2, Highway 2, down through Lethbridge, and we'll have that enhanced tomorrow as the winds pick up out of the west and the southwest for tomorrow. So that's a look at tomorrow. Some sunshine, but of course we have a Chinook arch that will mainly be in place and temperatures will be quite toasty. Thursday night is when things start to switch gears. You will notice it. So rain will start to spill over and may make its way as far to the east as Calgary and Lethbridge. Again, this is Thursday night. I'm going to fast forward to Friday, and because temperatures will cool down so fast with this system, it will switch over to wet snow in the overnight areas and through the morning hours. We're not looking at huge amounts for Calgary. I'll show you amounts in just a moment. But you can see this wave by the afternoon out of Calgary and then slumping down to the far south. So we're dealing with it Friday morning in the city. When we look at amounts, 1 to 2 centimeters is what's likely in Calgary, so similar to the last round we had. This is what we're looking at for Calgary, Okotoks, High River, maybe a little more in Airdrie and Cochrane. This is incorrect data that's coming in for areas along the mountains with this system. So this is what I do want to show you. There is a snowfall warning in place for Kananaskis, Banff up to Jasper, and these areas could see up to 30 centimeters of snow. Now, Banff town site looking at 2 centimeters, but higher elevations 15 to 30 centimeters. Good for the ski hills. All right, 15 degrees is our high for tomorrow. That comes with gusty conditions, especially in the afternoon. Calgary looking at 40 to 50 kilometer per hour gusts with mainly cloudy skies with some sunny breaks at times. Thursday night into Friday, rain switching over to wet snow, slippery road conditions 1 to 2 centimeters. A high of just 2 for Friday, but back to 9 with a mix of sun and cloud for the weekend. That's your Action Furnace 5-day forecast. All right, CTV's annual Toy Mountain campaign is back, and this year marks our 12th year in support of Fear Is Not Love. With your help, we've raised more than $7.3 million worth of donations to date. CEO of Fear Is Not Love, Kim Roos, says donations collected from this campaign go toward helping victims flee domestic violence throughout the entire year.
I can hardly believe that it's been 12 years that we've been doing this campaign. I'm incredibly grateful to CTV and all the sponsors and all of the Calgarians that are supporting this campaign and that allow us to do the work that we do all year round.
All right, so here's how you can help. Your donations of new unwrapped toys and essential items can be dropped off at any of our drop-off locations. For a full list or to make a cash donation, visit ctvcalgary.ca.
Newly disclosed emails from Jeffrey Epstein mention the U.S. president. What was exchanged and reaction from the White House is next. And another big office conversion project is in the works downtown. But will these housing projects continue with the new city council? We'll take a look. The White House is lashing out after Democrats released emails today from deceased convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Damning emails mentioned Donald Trump multiple times, alleging he knew of Epstein's criminal activities. Here's Joy Malbon in Washington.
The private emails are straight from convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein discussing his relationship with Donald Trump. In 2011, 3 years after Epstein pleaded guilty to sex crimes involving a minor in Florida, he wrote to his now convicted partner, Ghislaine Maxwell, "I want you to realize that dog that hasn't barked is Trump. Victim spent hours at my house with him. He was never once mentioned, police chief, etc." Maxwell responded, "I've been thinking about that." That victim, Republicans say, was Virginia Giuffre, who said she never witnessed wrongdoing by Trump. In her memoir, she described being recruited from Trump's Mar-a-Lago club by Ghislaine Maxwell and trafficked to rich and powerful men, including the former Prince Andrew. In 2019, while President Trump was running for re-election, Epstein wrote author Michael Wolff, taking issue with Trump's claim that he kicked Epstein out of his club, alleging Trump knew about Epstein's illegal behavior. Trump said he asked me to resign. Never a member ever. Of course he knew about the girls, as he asked Ghislaine to stop. Maxwell, who's reportedly applying for clemency, told the president's lawyer in July she never saw Trump at Epstein's home.
I never witnessed the president in any inappropriate setting in any way.
The White House accuses Democrats of trying to smear the president by releasing selective emails.
It just shows how this is truly a manufactured hoax by the Democrat Party.
The Trump administration has formally closed the Epstein case, but Democrats hope releasing these emails can force a vote in the Republican-controlled House and get all of the files released. Joy Melvin, CTV News, Washington.
Fashion and beauty collide next. A supermodel and a celebrity makeup artist, both originally from Calgary, finding ways to weave their Alberta experiences into their work. Calgary is quickly gaining a global reputation for fashion and beauty. That's thanks to two Calgarians who've broken into the industry in a big way, and each make sure the city and the region is woven into their work. Alicia Fielberg explains.
Introducing his makeup in the mall where he spent most weekends as a teen is a full circle moment for Hung Van Gogh.
Calgary is home for me. I brought up here and having my own brand that sells Sephora and even carry in my own hometown. It's pretty surreal. I know it sounds silly, I'm crying, but it is emotional for me.
It's a long way from where he started.
My family and I, we escaped Vietnam to refugee camp, and then we came here after.
His career began at a Calgary hair salon before he switched to makeup, becoming coveted by A-listers and now launching his own line across Canada and the United States.
Never dreamed to work with celebrity. I have my own brand.
An inspiring story for Calgarians who lined up to meet him.
I've always wanted to be a celebrity makeup artist, so we know it's possible.
We're always happy to see a Calgarian make it big.
Another Calgarian making it big in fashion is Awar Odiung. The model was featured in September's U.S. Vogue, along with her family at a photo shoot in Kananaskis.
It is the most difficult publication in the world to get into, so for her to have a single girl story and with her family is unbelievable.
Having Canada being put on the map by Vogue has been so cool, and I'm glad that me and my family as immigrants, as refugees, were able to represent Canada.
Odiung was a toddler when her family came to Canada as refugees from South Sudan in 2002. Years later, she was folding clothes at Old Navy when she was approached to model, and her career has taken off.
I've been able to take care of my family, myself, my friends.
Whether showcasing high fashion in the Canadian Rockies or naming a lipstick after Calgary's area code, both Awar and Hung are proud to have the spotlight on Alberta and hope their stories encourage others.
There's no limitation to your dreams.
Alicia Fieldberg, CTV News, Calgary.
That's very cool. So cool. Okay, let's see what's trending. I'm going to let Glenn weigh in on this one.
Yes.
Because these brave people certainly believe it is never too cold to go golfing. Full snow, Glenn. These golfers brave temperatures around -15.
Where can I join in?
Yes, that's right. In the Antarctic. This was the Clock Golf Championship. Clock Golf has 12 tee positions arranged like a clock. The hours on a clock around a central hole. It's typically played on grass, of course. This one was a little bit different. To keep things fair, everybody used the same style of club. There were golfers from a number of countries from around the world, including Canada.
Well, their putting wasn't very good, I'll say
No, you're not doing this in 1 or 2 strokes, that's for sure.
Yes. Well, they had fun. That's the main thing.
That is it. Yeah, the snow's going to hold you up, but it'll be fun. Okay, now to a crash course on candy making.
Shark with blue shoes slides through the sea like he's got nothing to lose.
Okay, just watch this. This candy maker takes us through the steps of making this shark-shaped sweet. I wasn't sure where this was going at first, but so he makes the mold, and then there's some swinging and some pulling and some dicing.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's how you get the little shark inside the hard candy. There are a lot of steps to this, but how cool is that?
Right?
I didn't know that's how hard candy was made.
Some people are so talented.
So clever.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, finally, here's some proof that the love of performing sometimes starts at a very young age.
How sweet it is to be loved by you. How sweet it is to be loved by you.
Okay, Okay, this is Luciano. When he was 3, belting out how sweet it is to be loved by you. He's now 9, and he is shot to fame after he appeared on Britain's Got Talent. Nearly 5 million people have watched this, and they certainly believe he's got what it takes to make it big.
Look at the moves.
He is very animated. He sings, he dances, like he engages the audience.
Oh yeah, he's the next Bublé right there.
Absolutely, absolutely. Cute little guy. It seems Canadians are making a habit of staying out of the U.S. New data is out about how the trade war is affecting travel south. That is coming up in our business report.
Skywatch weather camera. Look, it's not bouncing around. It's a beautiful, quiet night. Temperatures were not as warm today because we didn't have those strong winds out of the west. They will pick up once again out of the southwest predominantly for tomorrow. So it'll be a windy day, but temperatures will be much warmer than the little 5 that we got today. We're sitting at 2 at the moment and normal is 3. So today temperatures were around where they should be for this time of year. Looking at other places across the country, 9 for Victoria and Vancouver, 6 in Edmonton, and way out in St. John's, Newfoundland. One of the hot spots in the country, 13 degrees is where they got up to today. 2 right now in the city at the freezing mark, Drumheller through Brooks, but still hanging on to 7 and 8 in Medicine Hat and Lethbridge and Pincher Creek. All right, we had this Chinook set up here. You can see that distinct line. It's starting to break up at this point, but it will kick in again for late tonight and tomorrow because we'll be in a Chinook pattern, and that's what will get us up to the 15. So this is your 24-hour forecast brought to you by Action Furnace. Fixed Rider, it's free. 0 in the overnight hours, and we will not have to deal with wind chill in the morning. We're looking at winds out of the southwest up to 20 kilometers per hour, so that will be enough to get us close to 6 degrees by 8 a.m. And then in the afternoon, it will start to get quite gusty, up to 40, even 50 kilometers per hour. Mainly sunny skies by then, and a high of 15 degrees. So toasty and windy is the story in all of southern Alberta tomorrow. 11 degrees in Kelowna, 10 in Fernie, showers in Golden, Fernie, Salmon Arm, Kelowna for tomorrow. But on our side of the Rockies, it is dry for tomorrow for the most part in Edmonton and Red Deer. Olds looking at 14, Coronation 12, Lethbridge 18 and windy, Medicine Hat, it will be gusty. Closer to the U.S. border around Waterton Park, 90 kilometer per hour gusts. Pincher Creek 70. Tara?
Thank you, Danielle. A boy is in hospital with life-threatening injuries after a fight with his brother. Police say it happened in Glamorgan this afternoon. Investigators say they are considering this a domestic incident. The family of a Calgary woman killed in Las Vegas says she was loved and is missed to this day. Police in Calgary and Las Vegas were finally able to identify Anna Sylvia Just's remains 55 years after they were found in the Nevada desert. And CTV News has learned the next major projects list from Ottawa includes an LNG project, a hydroelectric development, and 2 mines, but there's no indication of a pipeline to the BC coast yet. More than 200 new affordable rental units are being built in downtown Calgary. It's another office tower conversion project. Our city and province continue to lead the way for building permits as increasing supply is considered an effective tool to address housing affordability concerns. But will Calgary's new council continue to support these types of projects? Here's Stephanie Thomas.
800 6th Avenue Southwest was once a downtown Calgary workplace. Now the tower is being transformed into 204 rental units. It's the latest office conversion project meant to improve vibrancy in the core and increase affordable housing.
It is critical that Calgarians have safe, affordable, and accessible places to live.
This project costs $83 million. Most of it is coming from the federal government, which committed to address the housing crisis under the Canada Strong platform.
And I think it will continue to be a real success story because there's a real get-it-done attitude in Calgary.
City administration wants the newly elected council to continue to commit to more projects like these. It's asking for $40 million to support its downtown strategy.
Our goal was to remove 6 million square feet by 2031. We're just under 3 million square feet. We're getting there, so we have a ways to go.
The councillor for Ward 7, which covers downtown, says he will support it.
These are the kinds of things that will make Calgary's downtown continue to prosper, so I absolutely believe in Calgary's downtown revitalization.
This is the third office conversion project for Astra Group. The CEO says public funding is critical.
It's difficult to create projects that create such an impact without the contribution. So I certainly hope it will it's here to stay, and more projects will come to life.
Analysts say Calgary continues to lead the way in Canada by increasing the supply of rental units and for finding creative solutions to the glut of vacant office space.
Last 3 years, it's almost been a record-breaking houses built each year in Calgary. So we expect to not see those kind of growth that we've had in those record years, but we still expect to see continued growth from a housing starts perspective.
No signs of a slowdown in the recent data. According to Statistics Canada, the total value of housing permits in Alberta is up 16% from last month, and residential construction grew nationwide by $335 million, with Alberta contributing almost $220 million. Stephanie Thomas, CTV News, Calgary.
And Calgary City Council will vote on the downtown strategy in the coming weeks. Canadians are still shunning the U.S. Travel across the border is dramatically down. BNN Bloomberg's Marilla Fernandez has more.
30% fewer Canadians made the drive across the border last month compared to October of 2024. It is the 10th straight month of lower border traffic. Canadians started turning away from those car trips a month after the U.S. president was elected. The number of Canadians flying to the U.S. also dropped last month by 24%. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is up a fraction to 71.43. West Texas Intermediate crude is down over $2.50 to 58.49. Western Canadian Select is up almost $1 to 49.25. And the TSX gained 418 points for a new record close of 30,827. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
The provincial government will spend $29 million to help reduce methane emissions in the oil and gas industry. Environment Minister Rebecca Schultz made the announcement at an industrial automation company in Calgary today. The new methane reduction deployment program will provide up to $1 million for each project, covering up to 50% of a company's costs. And the new methane reduction demonstration program will help startups and small businesses test new methane reduction technologies.
Methane matters. It's a potent greenhouse gas, more than 28 times stronger than carbon dioxide over a 100-year period. And that means for every ton that we prevent, we have a big impact.
The government says this program will help Alberta reduce emissions while reaching its goal of doubling oil and gas production by 2035. A new shingle recycling facility has officially opened east of Calgary. North Star Clean Energies is unique because it takes old roof shingles and reprocesses them into aggregate, fiberglass, limestone, and asphalt. The company has a 5-year contract now with the City of Calgary to divert shingles from landfills. The facility in Rocky View County can process up to 80,000 tons annually. That's about 6% of Canada's total shingle waste, or about 24,000 homes.
This is an absolute first across North America. This is the nation's first commercial facility dedicated to reprocessing asphalt shingles and breaking them into the component parts.
All the output from North Star will be used by an asphalt company, giving the waste a second life. A Calgary Hitman player is enjoying things on a whole other level. Coming up, Glenn tells us about his successful transition from one tier of junior hockey to the major junior ranks. We are getting our first look at what the torchbearers will be wearing for the Milano Cortina Olympic Games. They're white uniforms with a red and yellow pattern, recalling the Olympic flame. Traditionally, the torchbearers' uniforms at Winter Games are white to keep the focus on the flame. 18,000 volunteers and others working at the Olympics will wear blue jumpsuits with a green, blue, and white pattern. The Calgary Flames are back home from another disappointing road trip. Glenn is back with us. And Glenn, the Flames could have made ground on that 3-game trip.
Sure, they could have, but instead they ended up losing all 3 games, and that hole, their digging just keeps getting bigger and bigger. We'll pick it up in the second period against the Blues. St. Louis up 2-0. Flames short-handed, chance to finally score a goal, but Jonathan Huberdeau stopped on the break. Jordan Bennington also stops Yegor Sharangovich on the rebound, still 2-0. A little later in the second, Alexei Toropchenko goes in on the break. Dustin Wolf makes the save, but the loose puck right there for Nathan Walker. He deposits it into the empty net. 3-0 Blues. Now the Flames finally ended their scoreless drought of 154 minutes, 53 seconds when Matt Coronado beats Bennington with this wicked shot. Fourth pulls the Flames to within 1, and then 25 seconds after that, the Flames score again. Puck back to Rasmus Andersson at the point. Shot finds its way past Bennington. 3-2 at that point, but And that's as close as the Flames would get. The nightmare season continues. Some more news for the Flames. Forward Justin Kirkland, he was placed on waivers. The Flames home for a pair of games now. They play the San Jose Sharks tomorrow night and then the Winnipeg Jets on Saturday night. Calgary Hitmen are off to a great start to the season. Despite having many new faces, the Hitmen are 12-4-2 to start the year. One of the new faces that's made a big difference is Cale Dock. After playing 3 seasons with the Sherwood Park Crusaders, Cale Dock made the decision to join the Calgary Hitmen this season. And that decision has been a winner for both Dock and the Hitmen.
I just felt like it was the best opportunity for my development, and, you know, it's a great league, the WHL, so with the new rule, felt like it was a good opportunity for me.
Playing in the WHL is definitely a step up from the BCHL, but the 18-year-old Dock has made the transition seamlessly. He leads the Hitmen in scoring with 10 goals and 10 assists in 18 games.
It's definitely different. You know, it's a faster pace, maybe a bit of a heavier game, but honestly, it's pretty similar to last year. I feel comfortable out there, so yeah.
Dock has played a big role in getting the Hitmen off to such a solid start. Head coach Dustin Friesen says Dock has fit in perfectly and says he has a high hockey IQ.
Yeah, I think he just sees the game really well. He, positionally wise, he knows how to support his teammates defensively in the D zone or coming up to the neutral zone with or without the puck. He just makes really smart plays. So I think you know, that's definitely helps our group, and it rubs off on our group as well, making other guys better.
One of Dock's line mates is Brandon Gorzinski, who wasn't at practice on Wednesday because he wasn't feeling well. The two actually got to know each other back in 2017.
Team Brick tournament. At the end of the tournament, everyone goes on the ice and exchanges jerseys. We happened to exchange jerseys. He was playing on Team California. I was on Team Alberta. And yeah, we happened to exchange jerseys, and then noticed maybe a couple years later when he signed with the Hitmen and I was with the Hitmen. Yeah, pretty funny.
And here's another funny story. Dock's from Fort Saskatchewan. So are Kirby Dock of the Montreal Canadiens and Colton Dock of the Chicago Blackhawks. But Cale Dock says he isn't related to the brothers. Up next for the Hitmen, the Saskatoon Blades. They pay a visit on Friday night. Finally, in sports, it's going to be a big day tomorrow for one of our former athletes of the week. 11-year-old Ethan Reardon of Calgary has qualified to ride in the FIM Moto World Series final in Spain. This is a big deal for Reardon. He was only one of 2 Canadians to qualify. Ethan qualified to ride in the 160cc class. He will go against racers from 20-plus countries between the ages of 10 and 16. What an experience that is going to be for Ethan.
Wow, what an adventure that will be in Spain. Yeah. Good for him. Wow. Okay, final look at the forecast.
Okay, and we talked about, you know, fighting and holding off winter as long as we could. We saw a little taste of it. We're getting another taste of it, but it's pretty tame in considering, you know, what they'll get in higher elevations in the mountains, 30 centimeters. So for the ski hills, great, and for us, a lot less. 15 degrees, though, tomorrow. It will be windy. So warm and windy tomorrow is the story. By Friday, especially late Thursday night into Friday morning, 1 to 2 centimeters of snow, just a high of 2 on Friday. So there's your taste of winter. But then look at that. We're back into fall-like weather, 9 degrees for Saturday and Sunday. All right, I received many stunning photos from many of our lovely viewers of the Aurora Borealis. And I wanted to feature a name that I haven't featured before. Brian Graftis sent this in from Didsbury. Your weather window brought to you by Lux Windows and Doors, crafting quality windows and doors for your style, budget, and Alberta's climate. Brian, thank you for this. And to all the others that sent in such beautiful photos.
And look again tonight, because it's supposed to be good tonight, too.
Absolutely.
After around 8 o'clock. Thanks for your company tonight. Have a great evening. We'll see you tomorrow.